All right, so no big surprise on where we're at. My buddy Garrett here at Reach Out Reptiles. Garrett's been working with mainly super dwarf retics for how many years?
Oh gosh, I'm not really sure. My first retic I got was my second snake ever, besides stuff I caught in the yard, was a pure Jampea import when I was 15.
Wow,
So
many
I'm
years.
fairly old. So
And has been perfecting a lot of stuff through perfection in breeding. Well, I'm not going to say perfection because there's nothing perfect about this.
unattainable.
But through good practice and good pairings and knowing his genetics and caring about the animals and the genetics, he's able to produce stuff like this clutch. So I'm just going to let you have at it because I've looked at so many snakes now I don't even remember what these are.
Well, so this is kind of fun. Some people know this, some people don't. I used to work at Prehistoric Pets.
Yep.
And it was during what I would consider to be their heyday of producing like the craziest retics in the world. When that happened, there was one particular snake. They would pull out every now and then. They got like a truly exceptional animal, whatever the morph was. It's not necessarily like the coolest combo, but just a really good example. So they had this purple snow, the purple albino and anery male, and he named him the White Diamond. Jay named him the White Diamond. So he had these perfect diamond, super clean patterns, and it was just this amazing example of an animal. He's $25,000 at the time. So like any good sales manager would, I sold him to my good buddies, and then I talked him out of it later at a lower price.
Nice.
And that was 4 generations ago from these snakes right here.
Oh, wow.
So taking that same bloodline thing of like this animal has the cleanest, I mean, it looked like somebody drew it in with Sharpies, right? And we went 4 generations in, and I wanted to take a very simple morph in that same palette of colors and just really show what selectively bred bloodlines could do. I'll show myself this as much as anybody else, right? I just wanted to see what would happen. So in here, we have, now they're all in blue because they haven't even shed yet,
Right.
but I'm excited to share them with the world.
Yeah,
So
these are only a couple days old.
right. So this would be the pairing was a super tiger to a normal, and he was a het snow, and she was an anery het snow. So this is a wild type tiger, wild type referring to the pattern, or the color rather, the tiger referring to the pattern. And look at these crazy connected
it's insane.
side spears. This is what's coming out of this White Diamond bloodline. Here's another one. You can see what I'm talking about. They almost don't look like retics. And remember, the only thing with the pattern with these is tiger. There's no other mutation. This is a cool one. Look at this really dark one. And these are all wild type colored tigers. I mean, that literally, that's why they named it tiger, right? That looks like a Bengal tiger right there.
That's insane.
And then you've got my personal favorite would be the anerythristic, kind of like a xanthic in the ball pythons. This is a nice one, but it removes the orange pigment. You can see the orange and then the absolute lack of it. It's just like white background on black and gray. This one's actually even better. This is
Oh, wow.
that's the cherry pick of the cherry pick. Look at that thing.
It's almost black
It looks
and white.
like a zebra. Now I've literally been down to counting, like I'm going for the banded look with this bloodline, right? Which is not necessarily something that tiger does. But the best I've gotten before is like 4 or 5 bands together. Whereas this one's got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Yeah.
So this is
And it's kind of symmetrical on both sides.
it's very clean. That's what I mean by like drawn in. No aberrancies. And you know, you get a range in here, this whole clutch, but that's what choosing, you know, selective breeding. So I've gone 3 generations picking the best. If I was to move forward with this project, I would definitely take this and breed it into probably a higher percentage and clean looking animal.
Right, so-
maybe a Madu anery.
So even though genetic-wise for morphs, this is the visual albino, so it would be more desirable, quote unquote.
But for me, it's right there.
But for you're right.
What do you think?
Yeah, I would pick that one too.
Yeah, this one would be the best possible outcome, and it is a female, so I will be keeping this back. But this is anery and albino. She looks pink
Which
now.
they call snow.
That's a snow,
Just
correct?
just like the wooden balls.
And that's pretty fun. But then I've got this. What the heck is this? So as you guys know your genetics, you can quiz yourself. I had a super tiger. It's incomplete dominant. I bred it to a normal for pattern. And this is a super tiger.
So is this a male?
It's actually a female.
No kidding.
Yep. The male was a super tiger. So, but with pythons, you have XY sex
Which is very
genetics.
funny because the video, if you want to back up 1 or 2 videos, we just done a video on Partho stuff.
Parthos, did you do androgenesis?
No, I did not.
Ah, okay. So parthenogenesis is where basically the mom's genetics clone herself. Hey kid, no biting. And so you will get an all-female clutch and all homozygous form. There is also something called androgenesis, where the gamete from the male clones himself. But what happens with that, remember males are XY chromosome. When they clone themselves, you have YY, which would be a fatal combination, and XX, which would be a female.
Right.
So there's a misconception that when a male clones himself, all the babies are males, because when a female clones herself, all the babies are females. But that's not true. Only female babies survive. So the dad was a tiger het snow, as you can see. But if this isn't a snow, it shouldn't, theoretically, have any of those other genetics. It would be all homozygous or nothing. So this would just be a super tiger.
Super tiger female.
Well, you know, it actually may be an anery super tiger, but it's so shiny with this
Hard to
egg
tell,
skin. Pretty tough to tell. I think this is a trophy. The dad is the one that has that super clean pattern, and you can see this like single racing stripe down
And it's
the
crazy
back.
you got diamonds on the side.
Yeah, and that's kind of what he was named after, the white diamond. Look like little lanterns burning for great grandpa there. So that's pretty cool. So actually, we were talking downstairs about a fun snake for you to take. You were looking at super dwarves and things like that. And I don't know, what do you think about this as a product of 4 generations? A little super dwarf, super tiger female? Raise her up, figure something fun out?
Sure.
Okay, she's yours.
Thanks.
Yeah, buddy. And this one's for me. And this one's for me.
Are these mine?
Yeah, there you go. It was like a poker game with baby snakes. They're starting to get a little angry at us. It's okay, littles.
So cool.
I love this stuff, man. I mean, these babies are so cute. I love feeling their squishy bellies. I like when they're scared and try to strike. I like to try to calm them down and teach them about people for the first time. It's great being like a snake dad, isn't it?
For sure, man. It's like, it doesn't matter how crazy the babies are in the eggs. It doesn't matter how many eggs you hatch. It's always exciting when you get a clutch.
Oh, it never gets old.
It never gets old.
These are all animal. Like I said, the great-grandfather was a snow. So the best in this clutch is a snow. We got one of them. So genetically, it's not that crazy. But looking at the pattern, I can remember this animal's mom and dad, all 4 grandparents, 8 great-grandparents. So, hey, kiddo.
I think that's the same one that keeps striking.
I know, I need to stop talking with my hands. Hey, here's the little green we're talking about. You can just see it starting to come through. So aneries, sometimes where the orange is, if they're real colorful, it turns it green, which is an unnatural color. That'd be something to pursue as well. But that's really fun for me. I mean, like, tiger is the most basic morph you can get in a retic, really. It's a complete dominance. Not
Anybody that follows me with my retics, Cassie got struck at. Anybody that follows me knows that I don't have any tiger. Like
now you got a super tiger. You've been avoiding it, and I ruined it all.
I've directly not been keeping tiger, and now I have super. So
now you got a super tiger. But you know what? It's going to make snakes that look like this if you bring it to the right thing.
I mean,
it's pretty sick.
Can't say no to that. So
Madu would be the way I would go with that. 100%. That's like the exotic, cool, open back, super clean locality, and it'd make it a lot higher percentage.
Nice.
But yeah, but you can do what you want. I'm excited to see what you do with it. It's kind of cool. That's a freak, man. You don't get too many cloned snakes. Right?
That's true. Very true. So we know how we are with us. We have some oddball stuff. So this just adds to the collection. So we're gonna go down, or we're gonna get these guys and gals put up first, and then we're gonna go downstairs, show off maybe a couple more retics, and then we're gonna show off something that
that I'm less known for.
And we're bringing somebody in to explain a little bit more.
Someone's more known for them.
So anyway, stay tuned.
It's going to be fun.
All right, so downstairs, first of all, the facility is amazing.
Oh, thanks, man.
So if you ever get the opportunity and Garrett's okay with it, I think you should stop by.
Retic Fest on Patreon. Every year we have an open house in the summer.
There you go. So join us Patreon.
And we grill out. We don't barbecue.
Nice. I like it. All right, so what do we have here?
All right, so this is, you said, show us something special you can't see anywhere else. And so this is actually really special, not because of the morph at all, but this is an animal from Karumpa Island. They are the smallest of the reticulated pythons. Nice. They're exceptionally rare. We're still the only ones that have produced them in captivity. This was from the first clutch that I ever produced. His mom cost me almost $40,000 to secure by the time all was said and done. So this very much was a passion project, and no locality retics were
By the
worth
way,
that
y'all
kind of money.
ball python people, that's $40,000 for a normal. Just
it is.
So y'all can relate there.
That's it. That's it. But I absolutely love them. I think they're the king of superdwarfs. So this is an adult breeder male.
Wow.
So he's easily within ball python range.
I have ball pythons bigger than that, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, he may be longer because they're a different build, right? But he's, I mean, I think he's like maybe 1,600 grams, if that. So,
but beautiful.
I think so too. The ton of contrast, super, like, so they have, if you imagine like retics have that, you know, reticulated diamond pattern or whatever, these have like 3 times as much of the pattern on one snake. So it collides in all kinds of crazy ways. I'll show you one of my favorite things after staring at Karumpas all day. Come here and get in close. So normally they have more uniform kind of black lines, but Karumpas will have big, thick, inky blotches and then real thin parts. And it's just thick, thin, thick, thin.
And the black, quote unquote, is not really like a black. It's more of a, I don't know, a brown.
It was like, yeah, kind of ghosted out a little bit, a little bit lighter.
It's not a good rich black like a Slayer.
No, it's not. But they, by the same token, like when this guy fires up, he's like very pale yellow. So it's pretty cool. So anyway, they also have a ridiculously good demeanor. This is a F1 right out of the wild. I can handle my wild caughts right in the cage and hang with them and stuff. If you know wild caught retics,
they're usually not nice.
They're usually not that way. So the Karumpa's super nice, super small, super cool, chaotic. Unfortunately, they're super rare because I think they make the first, like, perfect first retic for anybody and everybody. So
gotcha.
Kind of our mission to make a whole bunch of them, maybe cross them into some different combos and stuff, and bring some colors out while trying to maintain as much of that temperament and size and everything as possible.
I love it.
I don't know if you can do it or not, but yeah, they're setting them all off now. But yeah, I've always called it the grand experiment, and it is really funny or is really fun to have an idea, chase it down, and even if you fail, you're like, well, that didn't work.
Ooh, at least you knew.
Yeah, but you discovered something new even in that. So that's the best part about like the art of breeding.
Absolutely. You know, it took Garrett years to accomplish some of these things. And we see it, especially right now with the industry like it is, you're seeing so many people get out because they're not interested in it anymore. And they've only been in it for a couple of years. And that's unfortunate because, in my opinion, it really takes staying in for several years in this hobby and keeping reptiles to really start to enjoy the art form and the experience and the blood and sweat tears that goes into keeping, not even just breeding, just keeping these animals. You learn so much about them all the time. And
to your point, I wanted to get these. I tried to get them and breed them and everything for over a decade before I got one.
I see.
But we're the only ones in the world that have done it.
Yep.
So
cool.
the greater the barrier to entry, the more rewarding it is when you're done. And you don't make cool looking tigers like the babies we saw without 4 generations.
That's right.
But it's super fun, you know, and it's cool to just even...
It's aggravating at times, but it is a reward.
Well, that's what the reward is all about in the end. You're like, you know how much went into it.
A lot.
So, but yeah, I'm really proud of those. So everything else is just kind of like making cool pets for stuff, but every now and then I like to do something like I consider this truly special.
True. For those that don't know,
we got to go down that way.
Yeah, but we're gonna go down here and we'll just show you. So stay tuned. And then we'll go into the house snakes.
The see-through rack, I like that. I hate calling it the focused cubed for some reason. That's too hard for me to say.
Focus cubed?
That's the company.
Oh yeah. I like the see-through rack.
It's nice. pretty happy with it. This is actually really unusual. He's got a tribal stamp and black eyes.
That's nice.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So another recent clutch here. So what's the pairing on this?
Okay, this one was a dwarf super dwarf cross male that was Motley, Golden Child, Tiger, Lavender Albino, Het Annery, and then the mom was a really high percentage super dwarf Annery.
Nice.
So that brings all the recessive stuff out. These are 100% Het Albino, but they're much smaller bloodline, very high percentage. And again, these ones also just hatched. That's why they're all sitting in here together in a little nursery bin until they shed.
And your kids are part of this clutch, right?
Not part, they are this clutch.
this
So
is
the
your
Hartle
kids'
kids took some snakes home, raised them, bred them, fed them, cleaned them, did everything for all those years.
How
so
cool.
when those snakes sell, my kids get the cash.
I like it.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty fun.
All right. So our special guest is, his collection is basically right here behind us, and you're going to get to see some really cool house snakes. And I'm looking forward to taking one of these home too. So.
For sure, I think you're taking this one home,
I
aren't
am.
you? So there's so much variety in house snakes, and